Yeah, good.
Get over there.
Okay, the object of this video is to show before and after treatment for a stroke. I've had a stroke a year ago and I've been lying here more or less most of the time since then. Stroke has hit my left hand side. Over 100,000 people a year throughout Europe suffer from a stroke. The object of this video shoot is to show what you need when you've had a stroke that has partially paralysed you. You're going to talk to me and Carol Swan. Now Carol was a very special case. She's had strokes about the same time I have a year, and we both got the same problem. We both got the same side paralysed, and we both have been in bed for a year. And now she's about to go on a big adventure to the Parafiuro clinic in Hungary, where they do very specific massage and aquatherapy treatment for stroke victims. Now over 100,000 people a year have a stroke of some severity in Europe, and there is no real treatment in hospital in England, in the NHS, apart from lying down and doing some massage. Now this is a real strenuous treatment in Hungary, and it's a painful treatment, but we'll talk about that more later to somebody who's gone through it from having a very serious stroke, who is now back to normal, but that's for later. Okay, now I'm going to get up. We're going to film me being loaded into my chair. I've got an electric wheelchair, which is great for getting me out and about, but I can't actually get into it myself yet. When I come back from Hungary, I hope that I shall be leaping about again. So let's go and give it a go. Shall I just sit up first?
Yeah, that's fine.
I have to sit up to get the sling on. Sorry, are you there?
Yeah, thanks.
Because I haven't any strength in my left side, this holds my back steady so I can swing round, get onto this device. This is called a stand aid, and the sling pulls me up to my feet on this foot pad down here, and then I'm transferred from the stand aid into my wheelchair, and then because it's electric I can move. I'll balance for a minute if you don't mind. Just grab hold here. Okay. Okay, I'm clipped in now, so now we're going to press the button, and now you're going to do the stand aid, and it will lift me upright. And then we'll move around and I'll be put into the wheelchair. Okay. Yeah, that's up. Okay, right. Thank you. There we go. So I'm in now. Right, thank you.
It's not locked for some reason. Just pull the little flat lever up.
So this is great, actually being able to move like that. There we are. Okay. Right. Right, okay. Okay, I'm turning right. Everybody out of the way? Yeah, good. Okay, I'll let you go through again, Roger. I'll pull over here while you go down. I'm sitting with Carol. We're both residents here at the Orchard Care Home in Newport, Isle of Wight. And we've been here about the same time and have about the same disabilities. Carol, when you first had your stroke, did you have any warning at all?
No, nothing
Not a
at
bit.
all.
What was the first thing you remember?
I remember being waken up and I just lolled and went back again. My neighbours come for me. And I never came to 3 days later in hospital. I was like
And you were in hospital at the
yes,
then?
yes.
And you had to have help to do everything at that point?
Yes, I couldn't do a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long before you were able to move certain parts of your body?
Fairly soon, really.
Fairly soon, oh,
Yes,
that's good.
but I'm restricted, obviously. But
Well, what we're talking about today is the fact that we're both shortly going to go and have very specific treatment for our stroke to the Parad Furo clinic. Now, what do you want to come out of this 3-week trip? You want to be walking, obviously.
as long as I could walk not long enough to sit on the toilet, I don't care.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
all I want to do.
Yes, about the same.
Yes, so that I can then do things myself.
Yeah.
I
I
do.
want to get back to work. I'm missing it enormously.
Well, I'm 71, so work is not me, but
When I had my stroke, I don't remember anything about it, but my partner Diane found me at the bottom of the stairs in our new house, and she couldn't move me because I'm a lot bigger than she is, and the ambulance men couldn't move me, couldn't get the door open to get me into the ambulance, so they had to get in another way, fasten me into a chair, and then get me out. But it was very swift, amazingly quick response. But we've still no idea, even the doctors don't know whether I had the stroke before the fall or the fall before the stroke. And there's no way of telling. I've seen the scans of my brain, and I've had what's called a deep blood stroke. In other words, it means a lot of blood went into my brain and affected my left-hand side. Means everything is affected right down the middle again. And I still, in a year, have not been able to get to my feet unless I'm assisted by the use of a stand-aid mechanical lift. I have got an electric wheelchair, which is a blessing, so it means I can move around. You really do miss the most basic of things, just being able to lift a cup. Certainly standing up is a real strain. How long are you going to Hungary for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
And yesterday you had somebody from Hungary come and give you the first
Well, the second, yes.
The second?
Yes. And she
example of the treatment you'll be
Yes.
getting over there.
Yes.
And how did you find it?
Well, she said cry out if you want to, but no way was I going to cry out.
Oh, better than me, because I did.
Yes.
I moaned a lot.
No, I wouldn't. I'd carry on because no
She's very
pain
good,
would go
actually.
again.
When she knows you're hurting, she gives you a little stroke, just to make you feel better.
Yes.
Yes, it is hard work, but there again they say that a year or less of muscles not working,
Yeah.
they're bound to
Yes.
atrophy, and everything is going to be painful. Joints, muscles are going to be extremely painful.
Well, I've had all the muscle treatment. I've had rehab.
You've had heat treatment.
And everything I could have that was on offer, I took.
Yeah.
So so it's kept me supple. I can set feet.
Yes.
Touch me feet. I can dress myself. I wash
That's excellent,
myself.
yeah.
I scoot around on me feet. I can stand up with somebody. They help me. I can stand up for 5 to 10
You've
minutes.
also got a mobility scooter.
Yes,
Do you use that a lot?
no, it's gone back this morning.
Oh, has it? Oh.
Because this was this thing.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Oh, you don't like the joystick?
Yes. And being left-handed, no.
Oh, it was no good.
Well, just a little thing and it goes off on a tangent, doesn't it?
Yes, you've got to be very careful. Well, I'm looking back at my work time in extreme sport and wondering how much damage I did to my body in the number of crashes I've had over the years, because I was very keen on extreme sports, and I did manage to fall off a motorcycle many times. I also had a go at hang gliding and managed to crash doing that.
It took me completely unawares and I went down hard, sliding along the ground and knocking myself cold. The film crew had in fact hit the bump themselves and decided to see what I made of it. Luckily I'd put on my leathers after getting out of the mud, but I had torn my pants and hurt my knee quite badly.
Slide you did right across the road.
The bike was in a worse shape than I was.
In the UK, you, me and Bob all agree that there are no provisions for stroke victims, really. Do you agree with that?
Well, they offered me 6 weeks and I took it and worked very hard with it, and so much so that they gave me, now it's just 4 weeks. So, but since they withdrew, nothing.
Right.
So I've paid to have private lessons, but it's nowhere near enough.
No.
So, but I did it first, but that's all. And LT came and they were very good and tried to, speak so much better, but it sounds awful to me.
I'd like to introduce Bob Dalton, who's 54, who had a stroke in 2010 and has had such amazing treatment that he's practically back to normal. Is that right, Bob?
Well, I've certainly improved from my stroke, which left me severely disabled all down my right side. I was unable to walk, I was bedbound, I could only take 2 steps out the bed before my legs gave way and I ended up on the floor. Like yourself, my main wish, and I think like all sufferers from strokes, I wanted to use the toilet. I didn't want to use a bedpan or a bottle, I wanted to use the toilet. And my determination left me on the floor many times crawling to the toilet because I wouldn't suffer the indignity that most stroke sufferers do.
It is pretty bad.
Both by being having to use bedpans and so.
But you looked around for a place you could go for rehabilitation, didn't you?
Well, I had the stroke in Spain. I returned to England on the Isle of Wight. We searched for 10 days with no avail for physiotherapy, any type of treatment to improve. And then it was decided I would enter the stroke unit at St Mary's for stroke rehabilitation. I spent 1 week there. Subsequently, they released me with the home support team. I had 6 weeks therapy, which was fantastic, and I can only praise the NHS. But 6 weeks did get me on my feet and did teach me to learn to feed myself again of a sort. However, it's not enough. As you know, and all stroke sufferers know, you need constant therapy. It's a life-changing event, and like a diet, you've got to live the lifestyle to get the improvements and to maintain them.
Mm-hmm.
I searched for stroke therapy on the internet, had no joy in the Isle of Wight or England, and eventually my housekeeper, who's Hungarian, informed me that her grandfather had a stroke. He was in a stroke specialist hospital, Ferdo, in northern Hungary. He went in as a stretcher case into the hospital, and when he come out 6 weeks later, he come out on a walking frame. And why we can't expect to walk normally again immediately, he certainly come out upright as opposed to being stretchered in. And much the same for me. When I went to Hungary, they admitted me to the hospital for 5 weeks, and the director of the hospital gave me a plan of treatment which was changed as and when I responded to certain treatments. They got 20 different types of therapy there, but the day starts with deep massage therapy. And after only 2 weeks, I suddenly regained my mojo, regained a lot of the uses of my physical limbs, albeit limited, and a very painful experience it is too. You can only understand what a stroke is like, not through books, not through doctors telling you, but by suffering it yourself.
How many people do you think have a stroke every year here?
Well, I know a few facts, and on the Isle of Wight, there's between 400 and 600 people a year have strokes.
Just on the island?
Just on the Isle of Wight.
And the total population of the island is only 120,000.
Exactly, and in
So
England it's 460,000.
200,000 people each year.
Absolutely.
Good Lord.
And stroke is the third largest killer of all people.
Is it all money, just money?
Well, it's a sad fact, I agree again, NHS got limited finance, but it's got limited hours that they can give a patient.
And
we are high users of manpower.
Yeah. So you think that with your success of what's happened to you, and hopefully what will happen to Carol and myself, that you'll be able to set up a clinic in the UK for people to have this treatment that's worked so well?
I've got to say I'm inspired by the hope and the results that I got when I was in Hungary. I not only got back my mojo because I'm an entrepreneur and I can see opportunities everywhere. Hence, I spoke to the clinic director of the hospital and set up this private company called Freedom from Strokes Limited, where we take people like yourself, like myself, door to door. We pick you up from the home, take you all the way to Hungary, the transport to the airport, the flights, the whole package, including a Freedom from Strokes representative who's with you 8 hours a day and on call 24 hours. So there's not a language problem. When you go to Hungary, the people are so nice, so kind, and the staff are so dedicated that you can...
And it's in a lovely part of the country.
It's a beautiful part of the country, in medicinal part of the world, where it's built on springs, natural health springs, and
so they do lots of aqua treatments, water treatments.
They do all sorts of treatments. The treatments are immeasurable, just what they do. And Carol will see for herself when she goes on Monday. She will have 3 weeks of intensive therapy, 5.5 days a week, 7 hours a day, interspersed with different treatments so it doesn't wear her out. However, it will be hard work, and I equate it to boot camp.
She's definitely a very dedicated lady.
Well, people like yourself and Carol and myself, we're determined to get better and make the best of our situation, and I'm only happy that I can be the instrument to provide this treatment. It's not me who does the treatment, I provide the means and the way for.
Brilliant.
It's the staff at Hungary that make the difference. And now, one thing I've realised is that after treatment, you need to continue your therapy. And to that end, I've got some staff from Hungary join our company. I've got a doctor and a therapist, and a physiotherapist is due. And we're going to start a mobile service on the Isle of Wight, where we can give people treatment in their own homes.
Excellent.
And also, should I say, we can give people treatment, pre-treatment, before they go to Hungary. So when they go to Hungary, they're in the best possible condition to receive the treatment.
Yeah. I think it's important that people understand what can happen if they don't catch this in time.
Well, you know, it's been touched upon about the depression that stroke suffers like ourselves. And it doesn't matter, a person can have a stroke from an early age in a womb to old age, you know, next to death. It affects everybody, and there's no discrimination. You can be a captain of industry or you can be a street cleaner. It makes no difference. We're all equal in the eyes of God, and stroke brings it all back down to ground level. We have to learn. We have to learn again how to function.
What are you feeling at this moment, Julian? Sad? Yeah.
Well, if I can say, it's perfectly normal to be emotional. Even 3 years on for me, I get emotional. If I sit and dwell on my stroke, it's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's like a war zone or a crash. If I dwell on it and think about it negatively and just think about the time when I had my stroke, it brings me to tears often. And I'm not prone to tears. I like to think I'm a bit of a lad, and, you know, Jack the Lad, I have a joke with everybody. But stroke does reduce you down to mere mortal. All I can say is there is hope. I was told, as so many people have that's had strokes, oh, you'll only have limited function again, you won't be able to drive, possibly. I was told negative things, not very many positives. And I know, because I'm a sufferer, or a stroke survivor as we like to call ourselves, I know there is hope. And I can assure you, by going to Hungary to receive this treatment, or receiving this treatment, this mobile treatment in your own home, you will see results. And while you may not get up and kick a football again or ride a motorbike, you will live a relatively normal life. We need to get the word out there. There is hope after stroke. It's not the end, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a new era in your life, and you will get back to some sort of normality. If you work hard, if you're determined, you can do it. You can do it, Carol can do it, anyone can do it. They've just got to have that little bit of oomph and a bit of guidance as to what they can expect and what they can achieve.
What gave you the sheer desire to set up this company to help other people?
Basically, I set this company up because I received such amazing treatment from Hungary. My own doctor, when chatting to her, calls the home, or the hospital, shall I say, where this treatment is dished out, as minor miracles. Minor miracles happen every day. And when I was at the hospital, I saw people come in on wheelchairs, come in on stretchers, and later on, 2 or 3 weeks later, I saw people moving about somewhat normally to their limitations. I saw them improve greatly. But the thing that mostly inspired me to do this, I Googled on the internet some sort of therapy. I could not find therapy.
Nothing for you.
Here. I spoke to the staff at the NHS, and the apathy amongst the staff was, yes, we got all this equipment, we can do all this treatment, but our resources are finite. They're so limited. They give you 6 weeks of amazing treatment if they can fit you in. Yeah. I had to wait to get on the stroke unit for 3 days because it was full up.
Is there anything you could have done before you had your stroke? Physically, I mean, talking about exercise and
if you want to talk about stroke prevention, you've got to keep your blood pressure low. I never realised I'm diabetic, and my doctor did mention the risk of stroke through diabetes, as blindness, as amputation, all sorts of problems. They never really elaborated much on stroke, or maybe I didn't listen enough. However, I believe I had my stroke through lack of my own care of my diabetic condition. My blood sugars were too high. I didn't realise.
Were you doing enough exercise, you think, or not?
I never done enough exercise. I still don't do enough. It's something that's alien to me. I'm not a gym person. I don't like the gym. I force myself to go to the gym. However, in this country, they have not got the resources, nor do they put enough resources into stroke patients. I'm sorry, I know there's many worthy causes out there, but when you consider just the outcomes of strokes, just how it affects relationships. There's different types of strokes that affect different people. Every stroke is unique.
And the numbers as well. I mean, the numbers of people out of work or unable to work or on the state. I mean, this is something that we never really think about. A stroke
stops you being a breadwinner. Straight away, your income is diminished because you can no longer function. You are reliant on other people for everything. I'm still reliant on people now just to do physical things.
Is there a website for your new company yet?
We've got a website. It's called freedomfromstrokes.com. www.freedomfromstrokes.com. We've got lots of information, including stroke prevention.
And the clinic, has that got its own website?
The clinic has got a website, but we prefer everybody to come through us, and we can explain. And using our website, it talks about the clinic, it talks about its work. We have got a doctor, Dr. Anna Marie Poss, who was the head of the unit in Hungary. She's now working with us, and she can give her expertise and opinion to stroke sufferers on the Isle of Wight.
I had 2 bad falls within 2 days of coming into hospital because I couldn't balance. And if I wanted to go to the toilet, I still wanted to try and make my way to the toilet in the night. And it resulted in 2 really headfirst into the wall fall, once into the radiator, extremely uncomfortable. I then hurt my hand, fell on my hand, my bad left arm. Mind you, I have got other injuries. I've got metal clips inside the bones in this hand from a motorcycle crash years ago. So there are a few things that I've done that have caused various weaknesses in my body.
But the stroke has certainly weakened your body altogether.
Yeah, I can't wait to try this clinic and see if I can have a miracle cure. I'd love to.
You've already
work at it.
You've already had some private freedom from stroke therapy by a mobile therapist. How did that help you?
Oh, it felt great. It felt agonising.
Was it hard work?
Well, it hurts, but there again, you're warned. And basically, you know, you are told it's going to hurt. And because your body hurts most of the time anyway, anybody touching your bad bits, my hand, shoulder, knee and foot on my left side are all extremely fragile and painful. So any simple exercise.
So since you left hospital, Julian, did you get any specialist stroke therapy?
No, none.
Did you get specialist physiotherapy since, provided by the NHS?
A few times.
And has that continued or has it stopped?
No, it's not continued. It's too expensive.
So they said to you, it's just limited what we can do.
If you pay for it, you can have more. It's as simple as that. And after the basic cost of living in a home, you suddenly realise you're running out of money pretty damn quickly.
So you're unable to live in your own home due to the limitations?
The state is not paying for me to be here. So, you know, I've got to be careful with money. Obviously, there's financial problems in the NHS. But if it hadn't been for Bob coming along to tell us about this clinic and rehab programme in Hungary, we'd still just be lying there wondering how on earth to get back on our feet and back to normal. Is that right, Carol?
Yeah, definitely. And I just seated in my room day after day after day. And Julian, Bob is like a miracle.
Rare sunshine.
Yes, it was. We both cried at the meeting, didn't we? And it was a lifeline, really. And I look at this way: if we don't get anywhere, at least we've tried, and that's the most anyone can do.